Is Bali worth a visit? Is Bali overrated? Things I wish I knew before visiting Bali. Hey guys, when it comes to planning a trip to Bali, the internet is full of mixed opinions. Some people will tell you to avoid Bali at any cost because it's too crowded, while others absolutely love this island and can't recommend it enough. In today's video, I'm going to share the things I wish I knew before traveling to Bali, and we'll cover everything you need to know as a tourist or first-time visitor. By the end of this video, you will be able to decide if Bali is still on your list and how to make the most of your time there. First of all, let's get one thing straight. Bali is a huge island. It's not just a single destination, but rather a place with many different areas, each with its own vibe. There are some parts of Bali that are super popular and yes, can get overcrowded. Places like Kuta, Ubud and Canggu attract tons of tourists, but there are still hidden gems all over the island where you can escape the crowds and have a more peaceful experience. Now let's answer this question. Is Bali overrated? Some might say yes, and I get why. The answer really depends on your personal expectation and what you're looking for in Bali. You've probably seen all those stunning photos and videos of Bali's waterfalls, beaches and landmarks where everything looks empty and peaceful. If that's what you are expecting and you think Bali is a secluded island, you might be disappointed. Bali is an incredibly popular destination, and that popularity has brought some downside, like over-tourism in certain areas, traffic and overly commercialized vibe in places. The key to having a great experience in Bali is managing your expectation. Accept the reality that some spots will be busy, and lower your expectations if you are imagining a quiet, untouched paradise. But don't let that discourage you. Bali got crowded for a reason. One thing that disappointed me the most in Bali is how much of the island has become all about Instagram and taking photos. Don't get me wrong, I understand that taking pretty photos is a big part of travel. It's part of our lives, and I love a good photo as much as anyone else. But not everything should be just about photos, right? When you visit a beautiful waterfall, you should be able to enjoy it, swim and take in the moment. But in a lot of places in Bali, that just wasn't the case. People flock to these spots only and only for the photos. And in some places, there are even designated areas where you have to pay and queue to take a picture. It kind of ruins the vibe.
The waterfall side, it's full of people that are there just to take a photo. I don't really understand the whole concept of going somewhere, not enjoying the nature, just to take the same shot as everybody else, but maybe that's just me.
But when is the best time to visit Bali? Bali has two main seasons, dry and wet. The dry season runs from April to October, and that's when you get the best weather. The wet season starts in November and goes through March. July and August are the peak season, and while you might think that December being in the wet season would be quieter, it's actually still crowded. That's because it's holiday time and many locals from other parts of Indonesia travel to Bali by car. So, if you want to avoid the crowds and still enjoy great weather, the best time to visit Bali is September and October. And remember, book your taxi in advance. When you arrive at Bali's airport, you'll likely be approached by a lot of taxi drivers, which can feel a bit overwhelming. My advice, book your taxi in advance. We actually arrange our transport through our accommodation, and many places in Bali work with local drivers who offer fair and reasonable prices. For us, it was even cheaper than using Grab, which is Bali's version of Uber. Plus, it's super convenient to have everything sorted out before you land. Now the question, where to stay in Bali? Bali has a variety of areas to stay, depending on what kind of experience you're after. If you want lively beach, clubs, trending cafes, and buzzing nightlife, Seminyak and Canggu are great options. If you're looking for peace and quiet, head to places like Amed and Sidemen. Amed is on the northeast coast, known for its black sand beaches and fantastic diving and snorkeling spots. Ubud is also a great option for first-time visitors, since you have access to the main cultural and natural attractions. And from Ubud you can easily take day trips to Canggu or other parts of the island. If you have enough time, I recommend staying in different areas. We stayed 2 weeks in Bali, and the first week we were in Ubud and Canggu. Then we moved to Amed for diving and more relaxing vibe. I made a travel video about Amed and Ubud. Make sure to check them out. But when you are in Bali, how to get around? The best way to get around Bali is by renting a scooter. It's convenient, affordable, and perfect for navigating the island's smaller roads. But if you are thinking about renting a car, let me stop you right there. Traffic in Bali can be crazy, especially in popular areas. The roads are often narrow, congested, and full of motorbikes, which can make driving stressful if you are not used to it. Parking is another major issue. Trust me, having a car is more hassle than it's worth. If scooters aren't for you, taking a taxi is much easier. You can use apps like Grab or Gojek, which are basically the Uber of Bali. Another great option is to hire a private driver, which is super common and surprisingly affordable. It's perfect if you want to explore more remote areas or take day trips around the island. Is Bali now expensive? I've seen a lot of travelers saying that Bali isn't as cheap as it used to be, and they often compare it with other parts of Indonesia. It's true that Bali used to be a more budget-friendly destination, but with its growing popularity, prices have gone up. That said, Bali is still an affordable destination. It really just depends on your travel style. You can easily find budget-friendly guest houses or splurge on luxurious villas. The great thing is that no matter your budget, food, transport, and activities are generally much cheaper compared to Western destinations. And since we went to Bali from Singapore, it was a great break for our wallet. One more thing to keep in mind, Bali is all about bargaining. Don't assume prices are fixed. For example, when we wanted to buy a local SIM card, we noticed each shop had a different price. So it's always good to negotiate. In general, Bali is a safe place to visit. We never felt unsafe at all. But like any other popular tourist destination, there are a few things to be mindful of. Scams can happen, especially when it comes to taxis or scooter rentals. So always negotiate prices beforehand to avoid surprises. And be cautious with your belongings. There have been cases where people have had their purses or phones snatched while riding a scooter. So it's important to stay aware and keep your items secure. That's it for today. I hope this video gave you a better idea of what to expect in Bali and help you decide if this is the right destination for you. I totally understand why some people say Bali isn't the same and don't want to visit it again. Bali has changed a lot, and if you visited Bali 10 or 15 years ago, you probably experienced a more peaceful version of the island. Today there are more buildings, and sadly some of the beautiful rice fields are gone due to commercialization. It's definitely more developed and commercialized now, which can be disappointing if you were hoping for that untouched paradise. But even with these changes, Bali still has so much to offer. You just need to know where to go and how to manage your expectations. Let me know in the comments if Bali is on your travel list or if you have been before and noticed these changes. For now, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.